Since today's Deadpool mission has been way too short of a video, I decided to make another video for all of you guys. And we have ourselves another very brief archetype analysis, which is more of a precaution archetype analysis because these two cards aren't exactly an archetype yet. Maybe they become one, seeing how Simorgh suddenly became a proper archetype with the release of a whole bunch of new support. Anyway, the name of the archetype Stargazing, which you can see on screen, is not, by all means, not an official name of the archetype. It's something I came up with the using their OCG names as inspiration and not to confuse them with the star archetype from Arc 5. Anyway, these two cards have been used by everyone's favorite GX protagonist, Judah Yuki. One was used in Season 2 during the duel against that girl who used the doll parts as her main deck, and the other one was used in Season 4 in his third duel against Truman. And yeah, that second one is the better one. Shut up, phone. Is the better one of the two, seeing how he saw a lot of competitive play throughout the years and even has an OTK built around it. And the first one sort of has it, but anyway, let's get into the actual video. There's only two of them, and the first one is Rallis the Starbird. This is a level 3 Wind-Winged Beast monster with 800 attack and defense, and this card gains attack equal to the level of the monster that it battles times 200 during the damage step only. If this card attacks, it is removed from play at the end of the damage step and returned to your side of the field in face-up attack position at the beginning of your next turn's battle phase. Now, this actually doesn't seem too impressive at first, but it actually can be a fun thing to pull off if you're using a Black Garden deck combined with a couple of kaijus, so you can bash their faces in with this level 3 monster, which can rise up to significant attack values if you're bashing it, like I said, into high-level monsters such as kaijus. So yeah, it's pretty fun to pull off, and that weird gimmick of being banished at the end of the damage step and then returning to the field at the start of the next turn's battle phase isn't that weird of a gimmick, since it actually gives it a unique form of protection, as it's only present on the field, excluding the main phase in which it was summoned, or any other phase if you're using any of the quick play effects. It only exists on the field during the battle phase. I'm sorry, during your turn's next battle phase. It still doesn't exist during the opponent's battle phase, which I think would have made the card a slight bit better. However, this gives it somewhat of a disadvantage because the opponent can use stuff like Burial from a different dimension or any other card which removes cards from the banished zone and then returns it to the graveyard, to the deck, to the hand, and basically shuts down this thing. But thankfully it's a normal summonable level 3, so it's not that bad. I mean, yeah. Anyway, Rallis the Starbird is a fun little card you can experiment with, but it's entirely outclassed by its Season 4 counterpart, Gallus the Star Beast, which is an Earth monster and a Beast monster this time around, same stats. And you can reveal this card in your hand, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, then if it was a monster, you get to inflict your damage to your opponent equal to its level times 200, and then you special summon this card from your hand. If it's not a monster, this card gets destroyed. So anyway, this card is way better than Rallis in many ways, and this card saw tons of consistent competitive play when it first came out. And as you can see from its effect, it's meant to be used in monster mash decks, as in decks that run on nothing but monsters, just like super heavy samurais do. And yeah, but even if you don't play it in monster mash decks, this card is basically a 4-in-1, because first of all, if you send that top card of your deck, which is a monster, to the graveyard, you get graveyard setup, you get to poke your opponent a bit with some damage this card deals, and not to mention you special summon a monster from your hand, so it's actually a free resource. And that's the 3 part. And the 4th part is that even if you don't top deck into a monster and send it to the graveyard, it's essentially an additional copy of Foolish Burial Goods for the decks that need it. And on top of that, the way how it's worded is that this thing gets destroyed while it's in your hand, which means some Fire Kings can actually benefit from this effect, sort of. So yeah, it's kind of funny how it works like that as well. Not to mention, this card even has an OTK built around it, involving cards like Koaki Meru Doom and Genex Ally Birdman. And I'm assuming that this is one of the reasons why Birdman is also limited, besides his contributions to the Blaze Phoenix FTKs. But yeah, essentially what you do is you normal summon Koaki Meru Doom, you get to activate this thing's effect and send the monster to the graveyard, you burn the opponent, this card gets summoned, then you return it to the hand with Genex Ally Birdman, whose effect Koaki Meru Doom will negate since it's a dark monster, and then you repeat the process since you do not lose the Gallus from your hand. And Genex Ally Birdman's effect isn't a once per turn either, so you can keep doing it until your opponent is out of life points. So yeah, it's a really good card for the decks that can afford to run it, and you should definitely run a few copies if your deck can afford to run it. Since this is a tech archetype, there is no standard grading here, but overall I really like the especially Gallus, the Star Beast, because it actually has a lot of potential to be a really good card, and even more so than what it is right now. Rallis is also a fun little card to pull off as well. And yeah, it's also from GX Season 4, which reminds you just how much of a better show GX could have been if it wasn't for the first 3 seasons. I'll never let that go. And yeah, it's basically it's meant to synergize with dangers a lot as well. So yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. So anyway, this was a little fun archetype analysis I decided to do, and I'm planning another this video for, I don't know if I should save it for the Christmas holidays this year, or I should save it for the April Fool's Day. Who knows? We'll see. This is all you're getting for now. A new episode of the LEGO Marvel Superheroes playthrough will be up tomorrow, so look forward to that. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe. Be sure to check out my Patreon when you got the time. Maybe drop a few donations if you feel like it. And as usual, I'll upload the next vid whenever I can. So see you all and have a good day. Peace.